Buddies, it's the Bennington Show on a Monday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Now, I'm just thinking right off the bat, Big J's got to be thinking Season of the Witch at the New York Comedy Festival.
That would be a solid one.
And it fits right into his wheelhouse, you know? I mean, he is the witch of comedy, the White Witch. Monday, Bennington Show. Bandwagon jumping already taking place. Look who's wearing their Mets hat. Ready for that Wednesday night. One game.
Yeah, I already got my tickets. I'm going.
Going to the game, huh?
Yeah.
You taking Chris?
No, going solo.
You know how much of a Mets fan I've
You
been.
know him from last year.
Yeah, you remember
you guys
last
were the
year.
Mets together. God, that was a fast year. When you think how excited he was about the Mets, and then how depressed. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Vito, what's
Hey,
up,
buddy? You okay?
doing okay, man?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you looking good today? You all right? Because we thought he was suicidal. So in New York, where are your seats?
300 section. So that's like mid-level Caesars Promenade.
What you pay for it?
I paid $100+.
All right.
Plus what?
Plus another 100.
100 plus 90. Who are you going with?
I'm going with a friend, just a Mets fan friend of mine.
Whoa, yeah. Mystery Day.
Are you ready for your Metstery Day?
Oh, I like that. Metstery Day. You pick somebody to take to the Mets game.
I smell a new game.
I smell a new game ready to
It's an
have.
expensive date.
Yes. Yeah.
I know you can't expense that.
I know you can't jizz in her mouth.
What?
What Chris just spit out, I'm going to guess snot.
Yeah. Heck.
Oh. That's disgusting.
Oh,
Don't do it, Vito.
Don't do what?
Jizz.
All right.
come
I
on.
don't know where you're going. Trying to keep that bit going?
He loves an ejaculate joke.
Of course he does, because he is one. Well, that, of course, is the big story. Also, Vin Scully, after 67 years of calling Mets game, every game by himself, though, didn't have some fun partner in there, no geeky fucking statistician. Well, this is the 9th time in Dodger history. None of that shit. Just a dude sitting there doing the game. Since the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, if anyone who saw the Dodgers play in Brooklyn is either dead or aching really bad right now. None of them. He doesn't have anyone to say, I remember listening to him in Brooklyn. He outlived all them. He started doing this when he was 22. And here he is. I think he's 150. And he's done. But, interesting fact, Vin Scully, this is what he said was the highlight of his career. Chris, can you guess?
The Brooklyn Dodgers win the World Series.
Let's go over to Vito.
Fernando Mania.
And Gail?
Last season.
Vin Scully, and this fucking shocked everyone, said the peak of his career for Mr. Vin Scully was landing that plane in the Hudson safely, saving those souls. And he goes, looking back on it now, what was I thinking with that mustache? So,
Real human being.
was that the trailer?
No, but that song was written about Sully. I mean,
It's Scully.
Wait, it was?
yeah,
I had no idea this.
yeah. The actual what that song is about is Sully landing in the Hudson.
I just got another reason not to ever listen to that song. So why wouldn't they put it in the movie, those dummies?
I know. I was hoping that it would be in the movie. I don't think it is.
Vito, quickly call Hollywood for me. I'm going to have a discussion with them. And let them know I'm off the grid. I'm not on the internet at all. So they can only get me on a landline. You know why I'm done?
Why is that?
Westworld. Oh, that's it for me.
Did you watch last night?
Yeah. Did
Me
you watch
too.
it?
Yes.
I do not trust machines.
Oh my God. And they shouldn't trust us.
Well, we are the bad guys, and we're the bad rapists.
And murderers.
We're so gross.
Is that John Glenn playing in that role? Is he the bad guy? Or maybe he didn't play himself in that movie. But that's it. I'm off the grid, folks. Deleting my Pinterest later on today.
No.
So if you get the opportunity, go in and see stuff that I like.
Yeah, I love looking at your pins. I'll really miss them.
Well, I've got 17 pages of Asian people.
My favorite Asians.
I'll just say this, all different stages of dress and undress. Real human being. Are we going to die? He said, everyone said that, screamed that at him at the same time.
Oh my
And they
God.
were chanting, are we going to die? Are we going to die?
Are we going to die?
And then he said, like, this is what his actual I saw the movie. Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
He goes like this. Because people are yelling, are we going to die? And he goes like this. Not with Vin Scully behind the stick. And he goes, I'm going to lay this down like Jackie Robinson took home plate. 1958 against the New York Giants. But Vin Scully, it's an amazing story. He called his last game. He went out just like a regular fella, didn't make a big deal out of it. Got into his car, went home, fed his dog, put his belt around his neck, and hung himself from his shower curtain to let you know the weight wasn't there anymore. Surprising.
So sad.
Surprising end.
I wish
He
you
actually
hadn't
said
retired.
he had written a note and posted it, just stuck it with a thumbtack onto his chest that said, you keep Trump and Hillary. So I blame it on them. Now, tomorrow night is the big vice president.
Oh, that is going to be thrilling.
Hosting it, Joe Biden. And but wouldn't that be great?
That would be amazing.
Biden just fucking eyeballing both of them.
You think you got what I can take?
Look at me when I'm fucking talking to you, monkey balls. Just fucking laying into him. Real human being. I'm going to quickly ask Chris, because I know it's nonsense. Oh, no, you know what? I'm not going to go to one of your dumb stories. The biggest story in the world right now. Kim Kardashian in Paris. 4 men in a room. She's bound, gagged, thrown into the bathtub. I don't believe the water was running, thank God. And her suite was ransacked, and millions of dollars, I've heard anywhere from $5.8 million to $10 million of diamond baubles and ruby stones taken from her. I said this when I looked at it. Clues? Check with the Bennington shows. If there's any clues at all, we'll find them.
Just everyone put down what you have. Let us get in there before you mess up this crime scene.
Before you Frenchify it.
This is going to be like a...
Now, look, my first thing, alarmed. Second, glad that she's fine.
Yeah.
So everything, you know what I mean? The Kardashian West family can replace diamonds. It's not a big deal.
They can. They can replace diamonds.
But this story stunk like week-old fish.
You think so?
I happen to follow each member of the Kardashian family on a little something called Snapchat. And this is before I went off the grid. Now, let me say this to you. I've probably seen over 4,000 snaps, so I know exactly what I'm saying. I'm an expert.
Okay.
I've never seen them alone. Even within bed, there's still 5 or 6 people laying in that bed next to them. I never see them without armed guards. Now, you're Kim Kardashian. You and your famous self are staying in a foreign country, and you have diamond baubles on you. What?
Right.
You're just going to guard them yourself?
Do you think story is false, or do you think inside job?
I'm going to go the latter, first of all, before I ever would consider blaming any member of that family after all they went through with OJ, who I think is the big girl's actual dad.
Yeah.
And knowing that their stepfather turned into their stepmother, they've been through a lot.
They have.
I'm not accusing them. But somebody had to say, Kim, I'm going to take a shit, open the door up, and let in these, what I now am referring to as the Pink Panther gang, into and let them ransack this place. I'm just not buying it. Something stinks.
It definitely would have had to be well choreographed, and I would agree. I don't know if that's what a burglar would call it.
They choreograph it. You were right the first time.
Guys!
Gotta steal.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Grab it. But this was a paramilitary group who went in there. They've actually had training, probably, in my opinion, trained by the CIA. They knew what they were doing. But I got another story. See if you got the picture of Kim Kardashian, the last picture taken of her as she arrived in France. She should be wearing a tan shirt with each tit pulled both east and west, as far apart as she could possibly get it. Fucking Ben Roethlisberger could not throw a pass from one nipple to the other.
Is this her?
Yes. Now,
Interesting.
look at her, right? No necklace, no bracelet. I mean, if she's got $10 million worth of jewelry, she's not wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? How? Was it going already? I'd like to get to the bottom of that.
She does like to accessorize, so I would agree.
Why isn't she?
I would agree that's kind of strange.
I mean, seriously, you're going to show up with $10 million worth of fucking ice and not be wearing it?
You'd be wearing it.
Or did she give it to that fat brother of hers and he's hawking it downtown Paris right now? Yes, I'm now starting. I'm not saying I'm accusing the Kardashian clan, but they probably did this.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody if somebody would be in on it, it'd be that brother of hers.
Oh yeah, that brother's a fucking mess.
I mean, he's really a mess.
He's with Black China, right?
Don't be a fucking racist.
I'm not. That's
dude.
her name. That's
She's
her name.
just China.
Just China is what we all call it.
The eighth wonder of the world.
I feel like she has something to do with this. How does she not have her bodyguard with her?
Yes, that's what came up. First of all, I've never been in a fucking room by myself with, $10 million worth of jewelry. I was in a room by myself with 2 keys of fucking coke, and I'm telling you, it's not an easy fucking, you know what I mean? You're like,
you're on edge.
This is worth killing a motherfucker for. And basically, I had a tablespoon just trying to fucking get rid of it as quick as I could.
Hide the evidence.
Yes. Hide it. I want high and packed tight. So there's something about this fucking story I don't buy.
I mean, this picture, I would almost think that it would be afterwards because no jewels, and it looks like they also stole her shirt.
Yes, they took her bra and shirt.
Like, that looks like when somebody throws something like, you're in shock.
No.
Come over here, young lady.
Here is another thing. Kanye, who would have been everybody else's, everyone's first suspect, was on stage at the time in Queens, and he was doing a gig for the TV show Kevin Can Wait. Kevin Can Wait. Welcome back to Queens.
Cool.
He gets a note on stage and says, "Excuse me, there's an emergency in my family," and leaves. I mean, he wants as many fucking people seeing. He had nothing to do with this at all.
So he has an alibi, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Now, thank God Kim is safe, and I know a lot of people are doing Kim jokes on the internet, and then people are writing, "Come on, she's a wife and a mother," and I'm like, if you have to get to the point of wife and mother before, you know what I mean?
Just before you recognize human?
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. It's a fucking 62-year-old man. Oh, it's an 18-year-old boy. Who cares?
They don't get post-traumatic stress.
No.
They'll be fine.
So the fact is, it's an odd story, and one that's going to take not one, not two, not three, but 3.5 detective minds to be on this. Chris, I'm sorry you fucked a lot of shit up with drugs. I can't count on you for the full thing.
It happens.
What I can get you to do is while we're coming up with clues, you can go out and get sandwiches for us. Because we're on this thing and staying that way.
We're going to need fuel for this, Chris.
Did she first I heard this. They were masked and disguised as cops. Now, which is it?
Are they disguised as a SWAT team?
You know those French cops always wearing masks?
Chris, I like jokes as much as the next guy, but we're trying to solve a fucking murder case. I had to put up with choreograph a couple minutes ago.
Stop.
Gotta rob. Something fucking stinks. It stinks like stinky French cheese.
Mm.
No, that is delicious. Get us some crackers, Chris, when you're going out.
All right.
You're making that run.
Cheese run?
Yeah, it's the cheese run. I better write it down.
He's going to forget.
That would help.
And you know what? I'm going to pin the money to your coat. See, when I was like a really little kid, they used to send me to the store. I mean, so like now you wouldn't let like a 5-year-old go to anywhere. You wouldn't let them go in the backyard. And my mom would be like, go out and get milk and bread. It was always the same fucking thing. And one time she tried to pin money to my shirt. And I go, don't fucking do this to me.
It's so humiliating. First of all, the idea of trusting a child enough to be alone, but not enough to have his grocery list and money.
Let me tell you this. I wasn't fucking old enough to know how to work a safety pin. I was going to have to say to fucking Jonesy, the bookie who ran the fucking little bodega there, unpin me and take the money.
I'm not allowed to play with sharp objects.
I'll put an eye out. It's happened before. But the fucking the point of the matter is something about this Kardashian case, and I'm saying that with a K. The Kardashian case, it stinks. It fucking stinks bad. Do I think Kanye's in on it? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there was some fucking, some way she didn't have to, wouldn't want to tell him she needed money. Hey, John, North Carolina.
You know, Ron, I got to agree with you. You're right. Something doesn't seem right about this, but it kind of seems eerily familiar to a couple months ago. A little guy named Ryan Lochte said a cop beat him up.
You think Lochte did this?
Can I tell you something? I might be the only. First of all, I don't think Lochte
You
struck
don't think
again.
Lochte did?
You're jumping to conclusions. But number one, I'm on
Number one
Lochte's fucking
suspect.
side. I get in trouble in another fucking country, and I fucking skate. You know what I mean? I lie and skate, and then I try to figure out when I'm on Dancing with the Stars. But something stinks, and I believe this for once. It's not Kim's ass. It's something else. Paul, what's up?
Hey, Ron, can I keep it old school with 3841, buddy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so there's no way that black guys did this, as is mostly the excuse in the States, because Kim would have just offered to suck their dicks.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, and I have trouble with this, but I really want to get to the bottom of this. And if this did happen in the States, immediately the police would be shooting black people. But I don't know how this works in Paris. Are there African Americans in Paris? Is that something that happens there? There's no clues there. I was hoping there was. I hope there would be a clue.
Fish fillet, maybe?
You know what? If you would have showed me when I was a little kid, last night's episode of Westworld and this thing, and said, what's more likely to come true in 2016? I'd be Westworld in it. I wouldn't say, no, people are going to pay. No one's on stage with instruments. No, that's not going to be happening.
That can't be.
And guys will be telling little rhymes about themselves, how happy they are.
Like nursery rhymes?
Yeah, more or less. Nursery rhymes that curse. Cursory rhymes, if you will.
Now, this morning, I was on Twitter just seeing what people were going to say about Kim.
Kim Kardashian?
And here's two different things that I found very weird. One, time and time again, people are saying, you know, everyone's so upset about Kim Kardashian. Meanwhile, and then insert whatever world issue they find
Trump hasn't paid his taxes in 20 years.
Right. Or people are killing people, cops are killing people in the streets, or whatever, immigrants are coming in and the Syrians are going to kill us all. Whatever the subject is, I don't know why people have to immediately compare. We have enough room to discuss
We
Kim.
could just say this is a horrible thing to happen to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, she's like a human being.
Right. A human doing.
And then the other one was that people were saying that they didn't believe it because Kim, if she really would have been robbed at gunpoint, would have been sexually assaulted. And I'm like, look, some guys are, you know what I mean? Like they had a business.
First of all, if anyone in my gang that were stealing $10 million stopped to rape somebody, I'd shoot that fucker in the back of the head.
You know what?
We got to get out of here.
It comes up a lot in the old West kind of movies.
Right.
Somebody's like, actually, while we're doing our job, this is our job. Yeah. I'm going to take the time to rape.
But have you ever heard of it once working out where everybody got away? Or did the rape slow everything down?
It's going to slow people down.
Normally, a rapist and cat burglar are not the same thing. Watch a Pink Panther movie.
You raped no one.
He stole the art, and he also raped two other women that were working here that night.
Well, he had all the power in the moment.
One anally. One was raped anally. So, yeah.
But that as this is why I don't believe it. I think let's throw that out as a possibility.
Do not leave Kim alone by herself with millions of dollars of fucking diamonds. Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Dumbest thing ever.
She was set up. You're right.
Yes.
This is why
I believe she was.
Needs serious investigation.
Not by French people.
No. We
need to send an American over there.
We don't want this to be another Foxy Noxy situation. Everything gets all screwed up.
That's why she got the fuck out. Because over there, you get robbed and they fucking arrest you. They're like, oh, we're arresting you. That's what they tried to do to fucking Lochte. He got fucking in some jam, so they tried to arrest him. No, he's like, let the slow swimmers get fucking caught. I'll fucking dive in the Panama Canal and get out of here. Swim myself straight to fucking Dancing with the Stars. And come in 11th. I think he did. I don't know. I don't watch that show. Everyone's also talking about the big Saturday Night Live thing. And they all said they loved the opening. The critics loved the opening. Hated the rest of the show. And I thought it was a pretty strong show.
I thought it was pretty strong. There was like a couple good laughs. I thought the Weekend Update was good.
I will say this, though. And I'm not saying Alec Baldwin was the person that lifted anything, but some of those fucking writers definitely saw Trump versus Bernie, the show, because China, nobody else was doing that.
I know. That was dead on. And then this is something I wanted to show you. So, you know my friend who works at BuzzFeed, Jesse?
Yes.
So, a while ago, this is when Hillary was sick, he made a meme, because that's what his job is to make memes. And he made a meme for BuzzFeed. And the opening SNL joke is the exact thing of reenacting the Willy Wonka tumble.
Oh God!
And that was one of his strong ones, and it got like 1,000 retweets, and
that stuff that's important.
Kind of interesting.
Well, I'll write them a note, dear Saturday Fuck Live.
That'll get them.
Yeah. That pisses me off a little bit. Jaina.
It's Jaina.
That's pronounced Jaina. I felt like he was even doing a close Trump to that. It wasn't anything like the other two shitty Trumps that they had.
No. It was an improvement, but yeah.
He was more like...
Yeah, if it's like a Tamanix Trump, it's like exactly...
I was straight Tamanix.
Yeah, I agree. It's like he was doing an impression of Anthony Tamanix Trump.
Right. Which impressionists do. I'm not saying,
I mean, that's how I do Trump.
I know.
Like, I just try to sound like him.
Go, Jaina. And then you're like, oh, I shouldn't do that. It's too close. And then you see fucking Alec Baldwin just getting nothing but accolades. Even Fox News was going, yeah, he made fun of them both. That was great. I was watching Fox News today. That was great. I turned on Morning Joe. So great.
They loved it.
Yeah, everybody loved it. Jaina.
I thought the Scooby Doo sketch that they did
that was funny as shit.
had a really laugh out loud funny joke when he says someone's coming, and she said, "Who would have sex in this old castle?"
That was fucking funny as shit. All right, Chris Stanley, do you remember? I guess it was 2, maybe even 3 years ago when we used to play Tidal Wave.
Oh yeah.
On the show, it's Gail's cousin Ben. Play us a little Tidal Wave, would you, Chris?
Here's a little Tidal Wave.
Shouldn't even have to tell you that. All right, so just hold on to that for a second. I'm having trouble with our Twitter accounts. I'm being ignored right now. Anyway, we'll come back to it. Johnny, are you there?
I am here.
Yeah, what's up?
I would say to combine your two first stories, why don't we send the Hunch Bunch to go investigate who stole the jewelry?
Well, the Hunch Bunch is not real.
Oh, they were good, though.
All right, Johnny, I want you to take a listen to a little band. And we started to play this, I guess Ben was 9-10 years old.
Yeah, it must have been
when
about
he was
that.
rocking with Tidal Wave. So play a little bit of that for us, Chris.
Solid.
So that was Tidal Wave. Go over now. And this has been 12 years old, ready to turn 13 soon. But this has been playing now. This is at his school the other night. does shred.
He shreds.
Pour it up, man.
Now, I love the fact, too, that he's tapping, because I know a lot of guys who've played guitar forever.
Yeah.
who like, oh no, I don't. I've never been able to figure that.
Oh yeah,
out.
that's so difficult. It's crazy.
That so that's him. It's also great, to see a kid who falls in love with an instrument and just stays with it.
Yeah, it's just like his thing. He's just loved it since he was a kid. Plays every day.
Right. Literally gets no encouragement. Your mom was telling me the other day that he called and said, "Oh, sent the video and stuff," and then Ben's mom gets on and go, "Oh, and his sister is so saying all this stuff in front of." I mean, obviously Angie's always been the favorite, but it doesn't stop Ben, from lighting it up. Now, do we have Johnny from the Hard Rock?
Yes.
Johnny, I'm willing to either get you this guitar for you to hang up in the Hard Rock.
I'm not sure.
Or maybe a pair of his pants.
I would love some famous Ben pants, please.
All right. Now, this is the Hard Rock in Times Square in New York City. Johnny, if you get this now, years before everybody's going to be clamoring for it, I'll get you a real steal for it.
I mean, what's a fair price to you?
Yeah, what would you be willing to pay? And hopefully a pair of pants that he's grown out of.
Yeah, if they're really young pants, probably $1,000.
All right, $1,000.
Interesting.
Nice.
Current pants, maybe a little more.
And do me a favor, could you give this to Eddie Trunk and see if he'll play it on his radio show, Trunks It Up, metal style? But it's also funny just to see a kid who loves rock that much. He's playing some Jack White.
Yeah.
He was playing some Black Sabbath. Obviously, he loves Green Day. But, a lot of people are like, oh, rock is dead. It's all auto-tune and electronic dance music, the stuff that Vito and Chris go out to on the weekends.
Love it.
But I love to hear somebody rocking.
Yeah, he's about the rock. And I salute him.
You should. You should always salute those who are about the rock fire. We salute you.
The traditional rock and roll salute.
Yeah. The traditional rock and roll salute. I don't know if there's ever been one, but according to AC/DC. And I like a band that brings a cannon out on stage. Like we're so serious about this.
Like, we're not joking. This is like serious business.
All right, Johnny, thanks, buddy.
Later, Benningtons.
Tall kid.
Yeah, he is a tall guy.
I mean, Ben, not Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny's very short.
He's not that tall.
Look at the video there, too, and there's just this person with just a big flip-flop.
Who is that flip-flop person? That is too casual for a rock show.
I'm so hoping it's not Robin. But actually, supposedly, here's what happened. Ange started the show. She opened it.
Mm-hmm.
Ben closed it. And they put all the other ham and eggers in between.
Nice.
But supposedly, Ange went up there and did one of her monologues.
Great.
Got some big laughs. But why bring it up when Ben's telling his side of the story,
Don't forget there's 2 kids.
I know. So, Chris, this is why I told you, if you would have started the guitar at the same time, you'd have an instrument you could play now.
It's ridiculous.
Think
I
of
can't believe it.
How good you would be.
I know. I'd be tearing it up. I mean, Ben's a beast. That's ridiculous.
Look what the screen cap says behind him.
My goal. Eruption by Van Halen.
Yeah, wow.
I was about to say Van Morrison.
You struggle to read.
The eyesight.
So maybe if you would have stayed with something, you could have done it.
I fucked up.
I mean, really anything.
Did you have to?
I screwed up.
Have to curse. The whole plan was to send the break to him. And what do you got to do? What is wrong here? Mick, we got you? No, this phone's screwing up.
On the right.
Oh, brother. The squad.
Dropping the fuck bomb into that. Anyway, if you want to see Gail's cousin, I believe he's 12, Twitter on the Bennington Show has him Look how far he's come in a couple of years.
I know. Follow your bliss, ladies and gentlemen.
Joseph Campbell was right. Follow your bliss, bitches.
Is that the full quote? I didn't realize.
Yeah, I always read past the part everybody else likes. Bum 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 bum. I'll say this. Even if we never get down to figuring out who did this with the Kardashian piece, know this. I'll never stop. Not if it takes me 1,000,000 billion years. Here's some other stuff up. Pete Davidson says he can't perform without smoking weed. He went on High Times to talk about that. And Pete said he has Crohn's disease, forcing him to shit violently.
Oh,
I believe that's what Crohn's disease does to you.
Yeah, and like you can't eat fiber or else you get like really messed up. Like your body can't like digest food, from what I've heard.
So the fiber
Why
just
fiber?
makes...
It's because fiber's harder to digest. I know someone with Crohn's disease, they ate a carrot, they went to a hospital.
I thought...
It's not an exaggeration.
I know,
it,
but
like-
why do you have to say it?
Why do you have to say it in
it's
a comical way?
Yeah, you're saying
I know a guy, he had a carrot. He had to go to the ER, okay?
That's literally what you did there.
Like-
And then when you find yourself getting a laugh, you scream over top of it instead of enjoying it. No, these guys sent me there. They tried to do a fucking... I didn't even tell you about this. So they're trying to do a Big Brother podcast.
Yeah.
The first one, Chris is violently angry.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, you don't want to put that out because you're trying to get Big Brother fans. They don't know you. They're not going to accept you like us. So they sent up another one. Chris is being a sweetheart. And yet, there is zero air in the conversation. The second fucking Vito pauses, Chris is right there starting the new sentence. So I listened to this, and it was far too long. What was it, like 6 hours?
Half hours, 30 minutes.
Oh, my God. It's a 30-minute sentence with no break because he's right, and he's so excited to talk.
Chris, you don't win by having more syllables than the other person on the show.
I'm not trying to make it a competition. I just want to talk about Big Brother.
I heard him hit a comma a couple times, and you started screaming. I'm like... Vito really loves Big Brother.
He loves
and
it.
He's talking about it. He's enjoying it. And it gets back to Chris, and Chris is like, I'm an addict. There's nothing I can do. I can't turn it up. I can't believe I got 65 days of this. And I'm like, why are you being so crazy? Why are you so insane? So I said it back. I never heard back from either one of them. And I'm like, no, wait. You've got a legendary fucking radio personality ready to give you a critique.
Sure.
You're not going to say, hey, thanks, or even I disagree with you. Nothing. I didn't hear back from them. I spend 8 hours a day writing back to people going, sorry, I don't have time to listen to your podcast, but I wish you all the best. Because someone's always asking me to tell me what I think of their podcast.
Yeah, it comes up.
That's a fucking nightmare for me.
And you listen to theirs.
I listened. Not only, but I critiqued. I gave some advice.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
I go, Speedster, stop fucking speeding around. I don't know what your fucking hurry is.
That's why I get all my points out there.
There are no fucking points.
What I feel about this new cast.
Well, it was unlistenable. Bum, 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 bum,
I want to hear it.
Bum, 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 bum. I guess you will hear it. Here's Andrew. Andrew in Jersey.
Hey, Bennington's.
Hey, man.
Saturday, I'm watching the Met game. They clinched the pennant, and the game's on Fox. So right after the game, they don't do any post game. They go right to another game. So I switch over to SNY, and they're interviewing Sandy Alderson. And in the background, one of the Mets is bare-ass naked on camera for like 10 or 15 seconds.
It happens all the time like that because...
You don't see it in baseball too much, so...
Why are they doing interviews where people shower? Why?
It seems like maybe there could be a designated place for press to meet with the players And just leave it at that. Why does it have to be in the locker room? I don't even like the immediately after the game thing either. That really bothers me.
You mean when they're standing on the field?
Yeah, immediately after the
How
end
about
of the
during
game.
the game? When people are coming back and forth, Coach, what do you want to do next half? I don't know, Coach, this fucking team. You're down 24-3. You happy about that? No. No, I really thought we went on a lot better. What do you plan on doing to come back? How can we come back? We're losing by 3 touchdowns. We're professionals here. Even if we scored 3, they're not going to score field goal and we still lose? I'd rather just fucking tank this game right now. It's insane how much access we think we need.
It's none of my business.
Baseball, they're talking to the fucking manager while he's in the dugout. And the fucking pitcher's pitching. He has to answer questions.
That doesn't seem right.
There's a lot of money. TV pays a lot of fucking money.
If you think about the amount of time that they're not playing the game.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they've only got this one time that they're playing the game.
That's true. They'll start doing it with fucking boxers. I don't know why I'm getting hit a lot in here. I just...
Into the mic, please. We can't hear you too
I'm going for a left hook, but I can't get it. It doesn't look good for me, if I'm going to be totally honest. That was like 3 shots directly into my face. Quick talking Chris Stanley. Just zipping around.
Didn't realize it until I listened back.
Was I right or was I crazy?
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm fucking just going a mile a minute.
Thanks for the note.
No, thank you for the note.
And Vito, thank you for sending the note back. It meant a lot to me.
Welcome.
Didn't get a note.
You didn't get one.
Can't say you're welcome to that.
Now, by the way, people saying where can they see Ben? Twitter has a link. You see that he's all grown up now? And he's fucking shredding.
He's killing it.
God bless him for that, huh?
He's so grown up. He's grown up and he's grown up.
Seems like it should be in a movie.
I just made that up right now.
Well, your buddy Justin is in Toronto and has got a Just for Laughs update for us.
Hey, guys.
Hey, dude.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, so Just for Laughs finally wrapped up, and I had a hell of a time. I got to thank you guys. This was such a cool experience. You know, I had fun every night. I saw like 2-3 shows a night, tons and tons of comedy. But, I can't thank you guys enough. This is so cool.
What I'll just say?
Read off some names for you. Anthony Jeselnik, Roseanne Barr, Dimitri Martin, Trevor Noah, Chris D'Elia, Todd Barry, Andy Kindler, Gary Goldman, Camille Nanjiani, K. Trevor Wilson, Joe DeRosa, Jim Gaffigan, Natasha Leggero, Emo Phillips, Dana Gould. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. It was such a great festival.
You went to a ton of shows.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that or gal that stuck out for you?
To be honest, Roseanne Barr. She kicks so much ass. Like, I had an obnoxious guy sitting behind me commenting the entire show, and her comedy just like superseded that shitty experience because she was just so damn funny.
All right. Well, your piece is going up when? Tomorrow? I know you did a piece for this.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, my favorite moments. Look out for it. It's a good one.
Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
I know.
She still got it.
Oh, I did the Unmasked with her a couple years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, I was there for that, and she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
Really great.
Really, really funny, and I think she's a Trump backer.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, she hates Hillary. Fucking hates her.
Weird.
Yeah, no, she wrote a bunch of death letters to like her loved ones, and then read them aloud. It was pretty damn funny.
All right, I'm looking forward to your piece, buddy.
All right, yeah, I'll be talking to you guys hopefully soon.
All right, man.
Take care.
Take care. That's stuck in my head now.
Is it?
Yeah. I will not be able to get that out of my fucking brain head. Hey, Chris Gethard was on the old Regis and Kelly show today.
How did he do?
You know, he's Gethard. You gotta love him, you know? They talked about his anxiety. He's got that thing coming up that Apatow's producing, Career Suicide, where he's going to talk about his depression and suicide. You know, like, if have you ever felt like, oh, I'm depressed, or you think you go through depression or whatever? That makes sense until you talk to someone who actually has, like, clinical depression, and then you're like, oh, I don't have that.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
Get up.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, I'm able to get up and call off work and make up a lie.
Sure.
You know,
I shower.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of shit where months go by and you just can't sit up.
And how quickly people call just general sadness depression. Where you're like, I'm depressed about this. And you're like, no, that's just really sad. That's totally fine to be sad about.
If my TV show doesn't have an excellent episode, I immediately say I'm depressed. I go, I'm so depressed right now.
Inconsolable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that could be done until next week if it's really good.
Inconsolable unless it's a brownie or a fucking donut, or maybe just give me a slice of cold pizza then. Tired of fucking dealing with this. You know, if we don't have any of this stuff.
Why don't we have this stuff at the ready at all times?
That's what I always like to do in my life. Is if anyone says, hey, would you like something? I'm like, yeah, a piece of wedding cake. Just, we have any wedding cake back there?
No, we
Then
don't.
fuck it. I don't want anything. Forget about it. But yeah, the kind of depression that Chris Gethard gets.
Yes.
And I've seen him post stuff on his Instagram. It's just him in bed, just uncontrollable crying and not being able to stop himself. I'm like, oh, I don't get that at all then. I just feel bad that the fucking Eagles fucking let me down again, you know? Both football team and band. Hey, how did people react to the LA
Oh,
GPS?
yeah. We had so much great feedback, and I believe it re-airs again
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. and Wednesday at 4 p.m. and it's available on demand.
So if you missed it, check it out. It's on Deep Tracks Channel 27, and then check out their on demand.
What was your favorite that we played?
I think I would say the Linda Ronstadt.
Really?
Yeah.
Vito, did you listen?
Yeah, Eagles.
Hotel California. That was your fucking favorite. Out of
dude.
everything. Is that right, Born to Run?
Yeah.
God. I hope I caught you in a lie and you never heard it. I hope you didn't act like Hotel California was the breakthrough for you. What about for you, Chris?
Flying Burrito Brothers. Loved them.
Yeah. You never listened to any Graham Parsons stuff?
No, I didn't. I love that. I love what you played.
You didn't know who Graham Parsons was?
I knew who Graham Parsons was, but I never listened.
You just knew the name.
Yeah, I just knew the name.
Well, like you, he liked to go out in the desert and eat peyote.
Oh, cool.
But they said that entire fucking Rolling Stones, when the Rolling Stones started playing, you know, like country, like Tumbling Dice and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It was because Keith was hanging out all the time with Graham Parsons. And some people are mad. They're like, dude, you should fucking just give Graham Parsons credit for this, since, you know, you kind of took his signature sound. Keith's like, I don't give a fuck. He just doesn't. That's the thing about him. All right, the Gethard show, and he announced this morning, due to overwhelming ticket sales, before the show even starts, they've added 5 extra weeks.
Really?
Wow.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that kid's terrific.
And that's nothing to be depressed about.
See, I don't think his depression comes from something happens. That's what happens with us.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? That's like a non-clinical depression where we feel blue, where their depression just comes on.
Like a wave.
Like you could sell out an extra 5. Yeah, like a wave, Chris. You could sell out an extra 5 weeks and still be depressed.
Right.
Like, who cares?
Everything stinks anyway.
I just feel bad. Like, I know what it's like to feel bad for no reason, I think.
Where it just like nothing has affected you. You can't place what got you to that spot.
I normally then I'll think, oh yeah, my career. That's what has me here.
At least you have us.
Yeah.
Me and Chris and Vito, the whole gang.
We're here.
Well, when I came up today, you were depressed, Chris. You were in clinical depression.
Yeah,
when I saw you today.
crazy reactionary depression.
And when I got here, I saw that and I immediately went, I'm going to put the sunshine on. Hey, guys.
Hi, Gail.
You guys are really reenacting it. Right back to the hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
How are you two getting along, by the way?
So good.
I think really
Because
Really great.
I remember the last day we did 2 shows in a row. We did the Opie radio in the morning. In between the show, I had to physically restrain Gail from fucking choking him.
God, like it happens so often, it's hard to remember which one that
And then
specific was about.
And because all 3 of us were exhausted, I'm like, look, Gail, let's just go to it at another time. And you were like not having that. You were like pissed at me for like, you know what? This isn't the time to talk this out.
I can't even remember because it happened so much.
Because he's antisocial, and you had said you brought up a problem, and he just shrugged at you like,
Oh
you
yeah,
were,
that's what it was.
like he used to at his girlfriend.
Oh my god, I just lost.
But
it.
you never get mad at Vito.
I've been mad at Vito. I
What
think
for?
just
His
general
breath?
like fuck up or something.
Sometimes I'll say something dumb and then she'll yell at me and then I'll go, okay, that was dumb, and then it ends there.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Chris takes it. I know what I'm saying.
No, I'm fucking right here.
I thought it's not so much he would even explain that to you. I thought that he just tends to ignore.
He usually does. Yeah.
She doesn't like a shrug.
I'm
trying to stop that.
I really.
You are, and I want everyone to accept this. Chris is an antisocial person. He doesn't
Right.
make small talk. And that's why I think when you're trying to do your dumb podcast, all the words just come exploding out of you. In a jumble, though.
See,
like, they don't even make sense.
That's what it is. He's shrugging me off like it's small talk, and yet it's not. When I'm coming to him with something important, then he shrugs to me, and I think, I don't see you shrugging to anyone else in the room. I'm
Right.
the only one who gets to shrug.
Right.
Whatever I say would not be important in that moment.
No more shrugs.
I appreciate it, and that's why we're doing really well right now. Shrug free and meltdown free.
Weirdos. All right, this is a true story. According to Ric Flair, they asked who rode Space Mountain with him. Because he used to say, to the girls, you want to ride Space Mountain. I think when he started saying that, Disney World itself was pretty new.
Sure.
And there were still e-tickets where you would get for the big rides. So someone says to him, any famous people? I mean, let's face it. He's banged a lot of waitresses and flight attendants. We know that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect a famous person.
No.
If we played 20 questions, you guys would not get it. He claims Miss Halle Berry.
What?
Oh, wait. That never happened.
When? Back in the day. He said when she was still with Dave Justice, I believe. He said it on a podcast. And go, matter of fact, go to that podcast so you can listen to somebody who is rushing their way through. But you guys are acting like she's too good for Ric Flair?
Well, I guess the only thing that makes it kind of believable is how specific it is.
Do you think she's going to be forced to say, I don't know what this fucking wrestler's talking about?
I've never even met this guy.
Sure to work, Chris.
This is fucking work. I don't even see. I don't know how their paths cross. That's the thing.
They travel.
They got
WCW was based out of Atlanta. David Justice played in Atlanta.
All right.
Look, how their paths cross. He's Ric Flair. Have you ever seen the amount of stars that'll show up at a big WWE event? Shoot or work, Vito?
I'm going to go straight shoot.
It happened.
You think it happened?
She rode Space Mountain. Ric Flair doesn't lie.
Now, did he raw dog it? or condom?
Space Mountain's always about raw dog.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I don't see Flair going for a condom. I think he would just raise that little berry baby as his own. But with his own. That's why.
I mean, I definitely don't think the reason it didn't happen is because they didn't run into each other. I'm sure.
All right, you pointed out that Chris is dumb.
Styling, profiling, limousine riding.
I mean, the fact that he does steal kisses might have made it borderline assault. But he claims Halle Berry was the one. Now, I even heard Halle Berry's name show up today when I was waiting to watch Gethard because Kenan Thompson was on there. And they said that she was the most panicked host in the history of Saturday Night Live.
Really?
That she was backstage and physically shaking at the thought of walking out there and doing a show without any talent whatsoever.
You're going to see the Emperor has no clothes.
Well, that would have been great if she had walked out with no clothes. Chris, fuck. Well, here's the thing. If she would have come out with the Nature Boy, or at least his semen, across her breast. I mean, yeah, we were supposed to believe she was with Billy Bob Thornton in a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And who would women rather be with? Fucking Billy Bob Thornton or the Nature Boy, Ric Flair?
Flair, obviously. Learjet flying.
You know, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this story. Wait, what's that smoke? Oh, that's right. We don't do that anymore. He's not feeling well. Anyway, the point is this. I believe it to be not only true, but I believe that she was in a three-way with Flair.
Who was the third person?
Arn Anderson.
Wow.
I don't think you didn't see that one coming. Arn was always right there for Flair. Be fair to Flair. Remember when he went through that whole fucking gimmick for like months? You're not being fair to Flair. He just figured out one day that it fucking rhymed.
It's like very funny that he reached the level he did because he had like the look of like a sitcom dad. Arn.
Oh, Arn?
Yeah.
Like, I always thought Arn just looked like the Lost Hillier brother.
He does.
The Carnegie Deli in New York City is closing. They found out for years that they've lost money on meat. They had no idea most sandwiches weren't
These numbers aren't adding up, but I can't figure what it is.
Why are we keep having to go out and get more meat? I mean, we only sold 5 sandwiches.
I mean, the meat cost alone, we're going to have to close.
We should play a game one day and find out, though, the last time a New Yorker went to the Carnegie Deli.
I can't imagine.
We're down the street from it, and no one ever says, hey, want to go to the Carnegie Deli?
Like a sandwich run?
Never.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even occur to me. In fact, if you have family visiting who insist on it, you would just stand at the door and go ahead, enjoy.
I went the first time I moved here. I went with your grandmother, and she was, this is fantastic. And I remember thinking, I'm eating a $26 egg salad sandwich right now.
Yeah, but it could feed a family of 8.
Oh, yeah, it was 2 dozen eggs. But I just want to say to them, just give me the one sandwich and extra bread, and we'll all eat it because you've got enough corned beef here.
Now, those type of delis where they're just the quantity of meat is just insane. Have you ever seen like a liverwurst sandwich on one of those? Like I've ordered one of those and I realized, oh, this is a small quantity meat. This is not something that you want.
Right. All meat is, though. I don't want a gigantic... Well, even some of those things, there's a pound of cheese on it.
Not necessarily.
You're being fucking ridiculous. You're trying to act like you're... And I hate to say this on the Jewish New Year, 5777. Just proving they were here long before us. But it's too much meat.
It is.
Well, the Carnegie Deli is going to be no more, and I should be sadder than I am, but I'm not.
No, it doesn't mean what I thought it would.
I only know one person who goes to the Carnegie Deli, and that's Dice.
Really?
Dice goes to the Carnegie Deli.
Interesting. Like every time he's here, he goes.
Yeah. Whenever he's in New York, I think he stops by the Carnegie Deli. I don't even think Jeffrey Gurian goes to the Carnegie Deli. Because he'd be like this. There's not enough tuna on here.
You know how I am, don't you?
Are you familiar with the sketch Too Much Tuna? He went and saw the show, by the way, the other day. Hey, did Johnny ever hook you up with tickets?
Yeah, we're just figuring out a date, but yeah.
And Chris, you're seeing it soon too, right?
Yes, I am seeing it this week.
This week?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Which night?
Thursday night. I'll be seeing Oh Hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Maybe you should go to the Carnegie Deli before. Make it an entire night.
You know, I actually name dropped Jeffrey Gurin yesterday.
I'm sure you did.
I name dropped him, and it went over very well because they were big fans of that show, and they were bringing up Too Much Tuna. And I was like,
I know that too.
I'm a very good friend with Jeffrey Gurian. Really?
I can get you a signed book. Man robs bank with his chin. Let's see. You'll be getting copy number 1. So was just a fan of that? Of that sketch?
Yeah, well, yeah, and he's looking forward to going to see Oh Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh Hello.
Well, Mulaney, I've been watching the documentary Now series.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, after it, they all come in and they talk about what they were doing. And Mulaney seems to have written every single fucking
Really?
thing. Yeah. He's just a writing machine.
Nice. He's great.
They, they just did one on I'm trying to think of the name. Was it Lost in Cambodia or whatever that? It was a one-man show that started the whole one-man show theme. The guy who did Monster in the Box.
I don't know that
And
name.
then he threw himself off the Staten Island ferry.
It's SP is like his name is it a spin? No, it's his last
Sam Pringles.
Spalding
Gray. So
had the SP down.
You got the SP. And I got the Alden Gray. But they did that and it was so fucking smart. It was so good. And then they came back and Mulaney was saying, the only reason why we did this is because we ran out of money. We had shot our budget. So we were like, what can we do? And he's like, well, I love Spalding Gray, and that's just a table, I think. And it's fucking hilarious. But I would recommend that you see Spalding Gray first.
For sure. You would have to have it.
How funny it is. But I had never seen anybody do that one-man play type of thing before. Here's Larry. Larry, what's up?
Hello, folks. I always thought that Jackie Jokeman Martling, after his joke hunt show, always went to the Carnegie Deli.
That's a very good call. He is a Carnegie Deli guy as well. Matter of fact, a big thing on Jackie Martling this weekend, he was unceremoniously booted out of the Friars Club. And it is starting a revolution of sorts.
What?
At the Friars Club.
For what reason?
Basically, he was a very scandalous character there, trying to act like the management is bad. See, the person running it now has no show business background. And a lot of the old show business guys, and believe it or not, Martling is the young, old show business guy there.
Yeah.
Not happy with the direction of this thing. But I've been hearing for a long time, people having, like, somebody would say to me, I'm no longer going to the Friars Club. That's it. I'm not a friar anymore. And I've been there, I don't know, half a dozen times with Tim Sabian. And I couldn't imagine why you'd want to be a friar. Just to go to the same club that often. It's just not my kind of thing.
It seems like it would be just as much an honor to be kicked out of the Friars Club. Like, that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
I've been thrown out.
It's still a club where if you come in and you're not wearing a jacket, they put a jacket on you.
Like, you have to just have one of those ones that they have sitting in the closet. Those are great.
Yes, it's a used jacket. And you're like, you think this looks better than me in a shirt. Yeah, it does. They almost look like they're old Ramada Inn jackets from the 1970s.
There's like tassels on the like shoulder pads.
All right, why don't we break here, folks? If you want to check out Gail's cousin Ben, because we played the Tidal Wave stuff years ago, he's just go over to the Twitter as he shreds a little bit. We'll be right back, Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Some Highlander results are in. One of these marvelous comedians is going to end up winning the signed Joe Montana ball. Listen to some of the names that were on the bubble this weekend. Joe List, Barry Crimmins, John Rudnitsky, Jay Nog, Andy Fiore, all buddies of ours. Let's see what happened to them.
Eliminated.
I feel bad about Crimmins.
I know.
Joe Liz, former champion.
I know.
Fiore, Chris is still about for making fun of his sandwich.
He's furious with him.
Ah, good one. Chris Laker, Ari Shafir, Mitchell Walters, Jim Florentine, Nate Bargatze, Robbie Slowick, Ian Carmel.
Has survived another week.
Sean Jordan.
Eliminated.
Pick the Patriots with no quarterback.
You thought Brisket was due.
Yeah, he was due. Toulouse. Look at this group. Andy Miller, Dan Perlman, Aaron Berg, Bridget Everett.
Has survived another week.
Bridget Everett has been a strong competitor. She did really well last year.
Yeah, she was Final Four last year.
She could take it home. She could take it home.
I hope she wins it. Listen to this. Andy DeVito.
Eliminated.
Heartbreaker.
Paul Morrissey, Gary Goldman, Doug Benson.
Has survived another week.
Tom Sharpling. Now, just imagine if Tom Sharpling wins the Joe Montana signed football.
Oh, my God.
What is he going to do? He's going to talk about it on his highly respected podcast.
Very respected.
I mean, this thing was on public radio. You know, that's how respected it is.
Big time.
And then to his very respectable show business friends.
Yeah, he has very cool friends.
Name
that he
one.
acts like that's like not a big deal.
Name one.
I don't know. He knows them all. He's got all the friends.
You can't name one, though, can
Yeah,
you?
I can.
Name one.
I don't know if I'm allowed to discuss. It's private business.
Well, people who do a show.
I don't know. Kindler does the show. He's best friends with Kindler.
All right, best friends with Kindler.
I mean, could you imagine? He's best friends with Chris Gethard.
All right, so if he's calling up Kindler, Gethard, guess what? I want a ball. That reflects nicely
That makes
on
us
us.
look good.
This is my dream now, that Sharpling wins this ball.
Eliminated.
I have a hate for the Colts.
They suck.
Well, look what they've done to Sharpling.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually hate them beyond sucking. I hate their owner, and I hate them still for leaving Baltimore. I didn't think I would hold on to it this long, but I have. I finally just started liking the Rams again for going back to L.A. I hated them for 20 years. 20 years, I wouldn't even look at that team.
You never even really called them by their name.
I didn't bother learning the St. Louis part. When I say St. Louis, I want to say Cardinals at the end. I don't go around saying Arizona Cardinals. I don't think a state should have a team. And Patriots, you're the Boston Patriots, not the New England Patriots. A whole section of states don't get a team. There's a reason that we don't say the Mid-Atlantic Titans, because that would be dumb. And plus, they're not even in the Mid-Atlantic. It's another thing to bring up. They're in the North and South. So anyway, that's the news. We lost a lot of friends this weekend.
We lost a lot of buddies.
Yeah, a lot of people are just betting against Cleveland every week. Who do you think is the favorite to win right now? The Sharpling's out.
Now that Sharpling's out, I'm saying Ari Shafir is the favorite. I know he wants that ball so badly.
Oh, I like the idea.
He wants it really badly.
I like the idea that somebody who wants it gets it.
And he's gone out early the last 2 years. This is the farthest he's ever gone. So he must be tasting this.
Oh,
now, as I said, I feel very good about Bridget Everett, but I also think Mitchell Walters could take this.
Mitchell Walters has dedicated his life to gambling and superstition in a way that most people haven't.
I mean, this is his bread and butter.
Vito, what's the line on you guys this week?
I don't know. I don't check betting odds.
Why?
Because I don't understand them.
Chris, give us the odds.
I'll find it right now.
You don't understand the odds at all. You understand fractions.
I can't figure out what plus 100. I don't know what's good and what's
the
bad.
money line.
That's the money line right there.
I don't get what's good and what's bad. I thought plus is a good thing, but it's not.
I mean, he has a point that sounds confusing.
Chris, what are you typing so fast for?
My betting website. Okay, here we go. All right, the line in the Mets game. -1.5 Mets. So they're favored.
That's crazy because Madison Bumgarner's postseason stats
Wait,
are
they don't
ridiculous.
give somebody 1.5 runs, do they?
Yeah, that's how it works. -1.5 runs. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be odds, like a boxing match. I've never gotten a run on a fucking baseball game in my life.
Run line -1.5 from the Mets.
Crazy.
I think I'm going to take this action. Sounds pretty good.
Please
who are you
don't.
taking?
I got to take my Mets, right?
Okay, he's just driving me nuts. He's just driving me nuts.
Over under 6 for total runs. I'm liking this action. I feel like this is going to get more than fucking 6 runs.
I wish we got you into football this year. I wish we could have got you this enthusiastic with your podcasting. He's completely dropped his podcasting.
What happened with podcasting?
I had to get the taste this season. It's going to fucking pop off this week.
Yeah, but that was what you were known for last year.
I know.
Remember you were eating up the points?
There's nothing to worry about.
Remember, num 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 num.
Yeah, remember how much we all enjoyed it? It was my favorite.
Smoking with Chris has gone away. You're just not yourself anymore.
I know. I quit smoking. It's a bad idea.
He hasn't been as fun since he's been Xing up.
Yeah, I know. Straight edge weirdo. I'd rather see you on big drugs.
I mean, you're
big major drugs.
You're really off brand right now.
I know.
Big cover story in the iBank for somebody that, dare I say, you love.
I adore. Carrie Coddett has the big cover story on the iBank today, and everybody should check it out. And the photographs of her, stunning, because she's such a beauty.
She's so gorgeous, I can't believe that Gurian's not following her around the clubs.
But yeah, they're predicting her to be the next big thing. She's a very talented, super funny girl.
I think she could end up being a movie star.
Yeah, that was one of the things. She has that kind of it factor that she easily could parlay that into like a really solid.
Where's that room? I just want to sit in that room.
Acting career. It's probably her apartment because she's so great.
Stop it.
Carrie, be my best friend.
When it's your best friend, you don't say stuff like that.
You don't ask to be someone's best friend.
No, that's more like stalking. When you're like, you're so great, you should have everything you want. That's not what anyone
I mean,
ever says
I'm an
about their
idiot,
best
and
friend.
you're great.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Any other pictures? I think the orange shirt one's the best. Why are you so slow, Chris? Move along, please. What is wrong with you? That's my
Look
favorite
at that
picture.
is such a great picture
Yeah.
of her.
You're in the game now, right, Chris? You're moving?
Yep.
Yeah. That's my... Stop. You're too fast. That's my favorite picture. How come she never comes back? Did something happen?
No. I mean, we became best friends, and then, I think we're best friends.
That's a cool bar, too.
It's a Norwood club.
Scott Norwood? It's a club about him missing a field goal shot. And was it 1992? Am I wrong when I say that? Was it 91 or 92?
I'm going to check.
Just be a person.
I like
Say
when you
92.
guess.
92.
Just be a guy.
Gotta be
So
right.
the year Bill Clinton got elected. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. Scott Norwood missed that field goal. Now he relives it every night at the Norwood Club.
That doesn't
He
make
plays
sense.
it on loop in the bar.
Hey, you know when we were talking about Kim Kardashian being
Sure.
bound, gagged, thrown into a tub, which... Is everybody ready to bet on this? Kanye does this in a video within a year.
Oh, shit.
This is
He
going to be a
does.
Kanye video where he's doing that.
Well, that's how he deals with his innermost feelings, is through art.
Or not having enough ideas of his own, he just takes something from real life. Here's Trump. Here's Kim. Here's my ex-girlfriend. Here's her ex-boyfriend. They're all in one bed together. Think a little more, dude. Invent some characters out of nowhere.
But the bed represents society.
Oh, was that what it's supposed to do?
I think so.
The name of that was We in a Bed Together, is what he called it. But no, he will do that. People are just trying to tell me stuff about Jimmy and Opie still. And they both took off today. Well, what are the shots? I don't get that.
You're gonna figure it out.
No, I don't see why it's a shot at Opie. It says, I will be live in the mornings with Not Sam starting tomorrow. Sniff, burp, steamroll, repeat. I don't know how that's a shot at Opie though.
That sounds cryptic.
Is it?
Almost
Code?
like Kanye's art. Hard to figure out deep.
I know so many people that are just obsessed with this. That they'll write to me in the middle of my show with whatever Opie put out a video, and then Jimmy says something, and I hear about it while we're on the air.
We got to do this show.
Do we?
I mean,
That's what I don't understand.
guess it's up to us.
All right, the guy who wrote the Oscar Mayer jingle died.
That is heartbreaking.
He's
Wait.
dead.
Is there a newer jingle than which one? Which one is he known?
He's the one, the original old school Oscar.
What
Mayer.
is the Oscar? Just play it for me,
As in,
because I think there's more than one.
are you saying, oh, I wish I were an Oscar
That's-
Mayer wiener?
That's it. That's the one.
Or are you saying, like, my baloney has a first name?
The first one is the one he wrote.
Are you sure,
Yes.
Vito? Is he sure? Because I don't think that he is. You know, people are saying it's my baloney.
So I thought it was the former.
Oh my God. This was your fucking story, right?
Yes.
You make me, seriously, you make me not want to talk to you. Anyway, let's move on.
Can I bring up something?
Yeah.
There is a map out now of all of the killer clowns, the terrifying clowns.
See if one's in Kim Kardashian's
I
hotel room, because I believe that could be it.
They did say masks. Could it have been makeup?
All right, the map of the killer clowns. Very odd here. Very heavily East Coast based.
That surprised me. I thought that this would have been a Midwest game. In the plains, even.
No.
This is a Northeast epidemic.
And these killer clowns are scary looking as shit.
They're really,
I'm like,
really scary.
who's going to be afraid of a clown? Then I saw it. I go, okay, that's a clown to be afraid of.
I wouldn't care to see a clown outside of Halloween. But how did it begin that people decided that it was clowns that were the most fearful?
Because they saw them when they were children. No adults are like, I'm afraid of clowns unless they saw scary clowns when there was a kid. There's a picture of me and my cousin at the Philadelphia Zoo with the scariest clown I've ever seen in my life. And you can see both of us look like we're not afraid of him. And we don't care.
That clown is of nightmares.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that you both look like comfortable to be embraced by a clown that looks like
Well,
that.
he was wearing a full suit. I was just in a sport coat and tie. At what were we, like 4 years old or something?
Yeah, very dressed up.
Well, we were going to the zoo, so I wanted to look nice. But I, have flashing memories of that clown pulling him behind the men's room and doing something to him.
You don't think it's true?
No.
Well, wouldn't that be weird if it just occurred to me now? That was the day. The clowns are, particularly the killer clowns. Now, were you afraid of clowns when you were a kid?
I eventually became afraid of clowns. Like, when I was little, I had a porcelain clown doll in my room. I didn't find it to be scary.
Well, let me just tell you that you didn't have that.
What?
That was a ghost porcelain clown.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing with me and clowns. I never thought they were scary, but I was sure that they weren't funny. And I remember as a child, and if a clown showed up anywhere, I would look at my friend and go, do they think we're babies? You know what I mean? Like, this is for 2-year-olds, not 4 and 5-year-olds like this party seems to be.
Yeah.
I thought they were terrible. There wasn't anything funny that happened there.
It's a very bad look when you go to a birthday party and the kid is too old to have the clown present.
And I'm going to say something sexist.
Okay.
Girl clowns always seem ridiculous to me.
No humor to you?
It seemed like a male-based thing.
So you're saying women clowns aren't funny?
Yes. Yes, I don't see any purpose for women clowns. But I to me, even as a child, I'm like, well, women should be above this. This is an immature thing that dumb guys... Like, I can put up with dumb guys, but dumb women to me, it's just heartbreaking.
I found women clowns to be kind of sexy, but the male clowns were just creepy.
You're only saying that because of the joke. What a Harley Quinn.
She's not a clown though. She's like just like a chick.
What? Isn't that supposed to be a clown?
I thought she's the Joker's girlfriend.
And she dresses in clown makeup.
She has white makeup.
Why are you thinking about this?
No, I'm trying to think. She doesn't wear clown clothes though.
She does.
It is the Joker. And isn't the Joker a clown?
I don't consider him a clown.
And isn't like a Harlequin like a type of mime or clown?
Maybe.
Yes, it is. This is what the whole premise of this is. She's his lady clown counterpart. Why does he just look up lady clown?
It just drives me nuts.
He doesn't even look
Stay
up
in the fucking...
Be friends.
Here's Lori in Yonkers. You gotta take your thumb off that in the other room. Take your thumb off of it, Vito. Take your thumb off Lori in Yonkers. Thank you.
Now, we didn't know this backstory. We just made fun of him for being an adult afraid of clowns.
Lori,
when he finally got pissed, drunk, and fell.
Hold on, Lori. I think that you think that you're being forced to tell. I wasn't able to pick you up because they had you, so start from the beginning.
Oh, okay. No, I thought that the call screener was just getting the story still. Okay.
It seems like he's going too deep with you. Nice to talk to you.
Hello, how are you guys? Happy Jewish New Year.
And to you
You know what? Aren't we at the point now we could just say Happy New Year without saying Jewish New Year?
You know what? It's getting pretty close. It is getting pretty close.
I know this. No one is down the hall today.
Good point.
I could be wrong because there's so many boxes now that I can't even see down the hall.
No, it's getting worse. They're taking over.
Jews?
No,
okay, the way you made it sound.
I meant it about the boxes.
We were talking Jewish New Year, and then suddenly you said that.
I did not say that.
Chris is looking up Jewish New Year as we speak. So, Lori, what do you got for us?
So, Larry and I have a friend who we would make fun of for being afraid of clowns for years. And then one day we're out drinking. He gets really, really, really pissed drunk and finally tells us why he's afraid of clowns. And after that, it was like, oh, yeah, that's completely legit. I totally understand now.
Why is he afraid?
He was taken to the circus as a 4-year-old child, enjoying the show. A clown comes into the audience, takes his father to be part of the act, and it's a knife-throwing act. So he just sees a clown throwing knives at his father.
Look,
and is terrified, and it's just stayed with him the rest of his life.
Look, guess what? I get that a 4-year-old would cry about anything. When a 35-year-old man still cries what happens when he's 4, no, I'm not going to accept it.
I mean, a lot of things were scary to me as a child.
The napalm girl is fine now. I saw her on TV, and she goes, no. She goes, I don't have any napalm problems. I doubt if it'll ever happen to me again. It happened once. But I can't see holding on to it. People are like, I'm afraid of spiders. Why? Well, when I was 3, a spider crawled on me. Yeah. Then you're a baby. Start crying about it. Now you're in your 30s. Let the spider crawl on you. Smack it with a newspaper. So you go, you back.
Next time I'll see him, I'll tell him to smack the clowns with the newspaper.
You go back to that so-called friend of yours. And by the way, I don't think he is a friend, the way he's dumping his problems on you and Larry. And I want you to say this to him. Butch up. Butch. Okay?
Will do.
And did his dad survive, or did a knife go into his neck?
I really thought that's where I was going to go.
Because I saw my mom have a knife throwing act at my...
There wasn't any bloody incident. It came out of the act fine. It was just a very dramatic moment that made an impact on this 4-year-old's life. And it stayed with him.
All right. Thanks, sweet. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I remember when I went to the Barnum and Bailey thing, and it was inside, and I was totally depressed. And I was like 4 or 5, because I went with an uncle.
So you thought it was going to be like a regular tent?
I wanted to be in the goddamn big tent.
Right. I mean,
and I got there.
You were just in a building?
It was at the Philadelphia Convention Hall. I remember just sitting there going like, and I remember saying this, nothing works out for me, ever.
Just forget it. Just forget it.
And I went home. And my parents said, was it fun? And I'm like, no. And they said, was it in a big tent? And I just ran up the steps. And while I was crying, I just yelled no over my shoulder. No!
He was doing so good with that
I really
circus.
wanted to be in a big tent. And to this day, I've been in plenty of small tents. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But
some of them do small.
But how big is it in there? I wanted to be in a big, giant fucking tent. And I was like this most of the day. My uncle would be, I was with my uncle, my aunt, and a very strange cousin. I don't even know why. I wasn't even close with them. They had an extra ticket. Okay. It wasn't even my aunt and uncle that you know. And he's like this. You see the lions? I'm like this. Yeah. See the lions in this building. The excitement in the convention center can't be matched.
I guess I never really thought of it. It's 90% tent thrill. I mean, that's really what you're going for.
90? Why so low? I wouldn't care if there was nothing, no animals. I was just in a tent. But I do remember. It's really funny though. But the guy that was walking the tightrope fell and was holding on to the tightrope, and I don't know whether it was a work or a shoot, but he fell, and everybody in the building went woo. And I remember thinking to myself, that's just like in a movie. The way everybody did that. Like I thought to myself, that sounds just like a movie. Too bad we're in a building in the convention center. Years later, I went back and saw a Grateful Dead show there, and I was like, ugh. Back to this fucking joke. Not that I thought I was going to see the Grateful Dead in a big tent. Right. Don't get me wrong, folks.
I mean, that would be great, though.
I guess my post-traumatic stress is going back into that building. Depressing.
Now, to get back to the scary clown premise. So we've picked a profession, and that is a profession, to be a clown.
A bad one, though.
And we've decided this is the scariest profession. What other than like dentist? I don't think that we've just decided as a villainous
cop. If I saw something happen when I was a little kid, it was a cop that did it. So I've always been a little bit like, well, here comes the cops. They're going to take people away. Always.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Is there any other profession to you?
Lawyer?
I mean, one person is going to be...
Who's afraid of the lawyer?
I don't like lawyers.
I know, but that's not the same way of being afraid.
It's like that you're actually afraid of the occupation. Like you could make a scary dentist.
Executioner.
There you go. That's
you can't
one.
be around an executioner.
I mean, you do get a little nervous.
I'm like, why don't the masks go all the way down over their mouth? Why they just... But I would say that when you really look at a job that people don't or feel scared of, funeral directors.
Yeah, that's one that constantly gets treated like it's a scary job. Never met a scary funeral director.
Look, I remember one New Year's Eve. My buddy was on crutches, so his dad brought him over to my house for New Year's Eve, right? And we were going to have a party there. I mean, we were young enough to... Like, we were too young to go out on the town, but we were young enough to drink and eat acid. So we just stayed at my house for a while. So his dad brings him over. And then later, like in July, we're at a funeral. And my mom says to someone, we've had so many funerals this year because this guy, and she points at me with a thumb, brought a funeral director into the house on New Year's Eve. And I go, first of all, he lives in our neighborhood. We all know him. And you can't catch funeral from someone.
He's also like, he's not like a mystical man. He's just a dude with a job.
No, he lived 3 blocks from us. And here's another thing. None of the people who died were less than 85. You know, it's not like if...
Right, it's not like an epidemic.
If we would have lost 3 6-year-olds and a teenager, I would have went, what did I do? Why did I let a funeral director in here on New Year's Eve? And then I would remember my life has been destroyed since I went to a big tent circus and it was indoors.
Well, next time, instead of having him come over to your house, just go to his spooky haunted mansion that he lives in.
Yeah, he just lived in a regular track home in the suburbs like everybody else. But I just felt like it was a way of acting like death is something that can happen if you're not following all the superstitions.
But then it's interesting. It's not even like he came over on Halloween. Came over on New Year's.
Well, it was the start of the new year.
So she felt like you rang in the new year with death.
Right. Even though all he did was help the guy into the house and leave. He was like, okay. And at the time, nobody went, oh, my God. She just put the pieces together later. Found out the way that I ruined, 1978 or whatever it was. Hey, Dan. Dan, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon, Bennington.
Hey, buddy.
I just wanted to call Chris out on the Joker not being a clown when his literal nickname is the Clown Prince of Crime. So, that's what they call him in the comic book.
He's more a gangster than a clown.
The premise
they
is...
call him the gangster prince of...
He wears clown makeup, Chris. This is the whole premise of the character.
His song is Send in the Clowns.
He's got a flower that squirts chemicals at people.
When's the last time he used that?
No, he has used it.
But it has existed. What do you mean?
All right, he's a clown.
He's a retired
Joker's a clown.
Then we owe this guy a prize. I'm sorry. Vito, I hate to give out one of our valuable prizes right now, particularly since I was planning on sending it to Kim Kardashian. But take care of Dan. He's in Massachusetts, so see if you find something that,
Or something clowny. Either something mass or clowny.
Give him Clowny from the Houston, Texas. They don't seem to be using him. Wasting a number 1 pick. Was he number 1 overall?
He was number 1 overall, and it was because of one hit everyone freaked out over.
And now, since then, he's played, 4 games?
Something like that, yeah. I think this is his first season where he started. He's played 4 games in a row because he's been injured the last 2 years.
And how's he done?
Okay, nothing spectacular. Houston blows.
All right, this kid sent in a picture of him as a little kid next to him. The Undertaker, the wrestler. And it just says to Billy, the Undertaker. And look at the just pure fear on this youngster's face.
That's terrifying. The Undertaker actually did scare me a lot when I was.
What about Papa Shango?
Oh God, Papa Shango.
How about The Godfather?
No.
The movie, you mean?
The wrestler.
Why would anybody be afraid of a pimp?
Because he was also Papa Shango.
They were the same guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I don't remember that. I feel like you just ruined something for me.
Oh, no.
Yes.
This is another Big Tent moment. Why couldn't you just let him have one last night to dream?
Didn't mean to.
Here's our buddy Lois in Manhattan. Lois, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? You were talking about clowns, and I remember a friend of mine told me, and I believe this because she was crying as she told me the story. She saw a ghost clown in her apartment. She said she was sitting there watching TV late at night. She heard like some type of bell jingling. She looked down the hall, and there's like this clown dressed like he was like from the 40s or something.
So here's the thing. I could see maybe a spirit in the afterlife, right? But is there makeup in the afterlife for them to put on a clown outfit?
Why would you continue what you do for a living?
Right. That'd be like me walking around after I'm dead with a microphone.
12 to 3.
I swear I just saw a radio host. A what?
Audible.com for any books you could want.
That wouldn't make sense.
People often think that people are going to also haunt their place of business. Like a spooky doctor, for some reason, goes back to work.
Yeah. Well, they don't know they're dead.
So they're just going to work.
They're just going to work like, I can't believe I got to work today and I'm invisible.
Stinks.
Yeah. I hate the idea of haunting anything. Like, instead of being afraid of a ghost, I just hope that I don't become a ghost that shows up places.
Well, it's just annoying. It's like probably similar to having like mice or roaches in your house.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Some places full of ghosts.
Ugh. So old. No one's ever like in a new place with a ghost in it. No, I'm one of the workers. I fell into the cement.
Just about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
What is that, an iPhone 7?
Yeah. You believe it? I died when there was nothing but flip phones. Shannon in Philly.
Bennington.
Hey, man.
Gail, you're a radio star.
Oh, thanks.
You're pretty awesome. Speaking of terrifying clowns, is there a more terrifying clown than John Wayne Gacy?
Well, yeah, he's going to be an actual serial killer. So no, that's less about the clown.
Hey, let's be careful. Alleged serial killer. I don't want him suing us.
I think we're pretty sure he's...
Hey, easy with it.
As a profession, he was a clown.
Yes, but let's not use his last name. Let's just say a John Wayne G, who allegedly molested and murdered children and put them in his crawl space. Not even a full cellar.
Mm-mm.
You ever
and I don't even know if you want to bring up Doink.
I do want to bring up Matt Bourne. I think it needs to be said. I think a lot of kids were afraid of Matt Bourne, Doink the Clown.
I liked Doink. I also liked Dink. So
Dink was the midget?
Dink was his like little mini-me.
Yeah, we don't say midget. I'm sorry. Alleged midget. I don't want to get sued by any actual midgets out there. Vito, you always seemed like a fraidy cat, right, as a little kid?
Yeah.
You were afraid of... You said your biggest fear as a child was Bin Laden.
Bin Laden. Anytime window washers would come by, I would duck for cover, and I would call my mom if she was at work and be like...
Can I just ask you this?
Yeah.
And I'm going to... Why would Bin Laden be washing a window?
It wasn't him washing it. It was just the scaffolding thing rising up. And then, like, all of a sudden, the whole apartment got dark. And then there was just the scaffolding there. And I was like, what's happening right now?
Now, how often did you get your windows washed?
More often than I've ever, like, lately. I haven't seen it in years. But when I was a kid, I felt like it was happening once a week.
Now, when you see the shadow, like, you thought he was floating up by your window? Ooh. Like, did you think he was a ghost?
I didn't know why he was up there. And I didn't know why there was just some being coming up and jumping it, because my idea of Bin Laden was he would burst in through my window on like a rope and just start fucking shooting. Like that was what I saw in my head every time I thought of Bin Laden.
It's so sad.
Then why are you
It's so sad. Your little post-traumatic stress. But I think it's interesting that you were old enough to understand who Bin Laden was and what was scary about him, but not old enough to understand window washing.
Oh, there was one time
I
where
will agree with them. No one ever says, hey, we're going to be washing your windows if you live in a high-rise in New York. There's just a guy there.
They just show up.
You just like warn people.
And sometimes they just knock on your door. Like they have the key to your apartment. So sometimes they have to do like random maintenance. So one time I was home.
Window washer.
No, but just random people that work in the building. And one time I was in my apartment home from school and the door just opened. And I thought that was it. Like that was my moment. Shit. And I started crying and I was like, please leave. Please leave.
Please, Bin Laden.
And I just remember a voice going, okay. Like just terrified that some child was crying and screaming.
Were you afraid to take cabs because you thought Bin Laden was driving?
No, cabs. I was fine. It was just my own apartment. The fear completely left if I was outside my apartment, but inside my home alone, I thought it was going to happen.
Mm. And then oddly, the weird thing is the Navy SEALs, they went in through Bin Laden's fucking windows
Weird.
to get him.
It's like a premonition.
Yeah, but a ridiculous, stupid premonition.
And they were actually able to pull it off because they were pretending like they were window washers.
And he's like, Vito? Mom, Vito's at the door. He was afraid of you. Because everyone has another. That's what I like to say.
Sure.
Everyone has their other. Well, except for Chris.
Yeah.
There's no light version of Chris. There's only the darkness. Are you going to take and just try to put up light version of Chris on the computer? Just be in the moment, dude. Don't. That thing is not a shield, okay?
Okay.
Oh, he's nuts. We got anything we need to plug today? I don't have a plug sheet.
Well, we've got GPS that's on demand. And how do you find that, Chris?
You just search. You open the SiriusXM app and search GPS, and this episode of the Laurel Canyon will show up.
Laurel Canyon.
I
don't know why we're not plugging Comedy 101. That seems like the big deal. Part of this year's New York Comedy Festival, Tuesday, November 1st, 9 o'clock at the Village Underground in New York City. We still have not announced the judges yet, but you will be thrilled when you find out. So just go to theinterrobang.com to figure out how to get tickets. Why don't we take a break here? I'm going to put on some Bin Laden costumes and run into the other room and try to start jumping on Vito. Right back, Bennington.
It's like a 140-character live journal. It's hashtag Bennington. Tweet it.
Show on a Monday. Still trying to see how everything shakes out around here. But for people that are just not, a lot of people have written to me and saying what's going on. I'll give you a very quick synopsis of what's happened over at Opie Radio. When I knew, when I first met, it was Opie and Anthony and Jimmy. And this was 16 years ago, maybe even, a little longer than that. And to see what has turned out here for those three best friends who were doing such great radio for so long. So I'll just fill you in if you haven't listened for a while. Opie now hates Jimmy, and Opie is no longer with the morning show and has moved to afternoons. Jimmy now hates Opie, and he will be doing the morning show with Sam. And Anthony hates women and minorities. So that's the full story for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
That last one was a shock.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope everybody works out. They're all still my friends. I got 3 Thanksgivings this year. I don't envy me. And I got to eat full 3 meals with each of them.
You know,
yeah, Jimmy, this is my first stuffing of the day.
You mean, it doesn't mean that they don't love you. They still feel the same about you.
Yeah, I knew that.
This doesn't change anything.
One of them was oddly jealous, and I didn't know about it. I only heard about it later. And then instead of being upset the way it was told to me, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, jealous, huh? There is a guy who lost his shit who ran around, and again, just like Kanye and Kim, Trouble in Paris. So this is a guy in an Apple store, and he brought in a glass ball. And take a look at this, Gail. He's breaking phone by phone.
Oh my God.
Nobody is stopping him.
Nope.
Someone is taking a video of him with an Apple phone. Now, it's up on the iPad. It's very funny to watch. Now, here's the thing, though. The Apple company is worth like $100 billion. You are not hurting them by going in and breaking their phones.
We needed those phones.
And yet, you will end up in court for this, at the very least. I mean, if I'm a judge, I'm like, I think you're a danger to society, dude.
Yeah, with the current temperature of the world today.
Right.
Heater.
62 right now.
And in France as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tense time. If I was in that store and saw that guy.
Law and order. I'll be the law and order president.
If I was in there, I'd go, did something happen with your phone, dude, that you're this mad?
Do you need to see a genius right now?
I have a problem with something on one of my many devices at any given time.
Just at least one of them is broken.
Like what? Netflix doesn't work, my Xbox, my computer, my phone. Something is annoying me.
Yeah.
At all times.
And then it's almost not worth it to deal with the process of getting those things fixed.
But I lived in a non-computer world. And you know what was broken then?
What?
Nothing. Everything worked constantly. Nothing was broken.
Well, yeah, when everything's powered by cranks.
Yeah.
Gears.
It was a better way to live. I'm glad that I plowed with a mule. I'm happy I lived in Westworld. I'm not kidding you. Something is always not working.
Yeah. And as soon as there's a new technology in your life, and then that thing should disappear from you, life is over.
You're helpless.
You can't go back to the way you were before you had whatever. It's like if your phone is off, you're just like, oh.
I'm willing to bet that most people don't even know how to use matches now. You know what I mean? Like people are like, how can you possibly swipe a match?
There must be an app for this.
What are you looking at, Vito? What is it you got to say this time?
Well, I had an issue with an app this weekend with, Juno, that new cab sharing program.
Well, first of all, I don't know Juno. I only know Juno the movie, and I thought she was adorable. And I kind of thought she was going to keep the baby at the end.
It was the best customer service I've ever had in my entire life.
Seems like the exact opposite of the story we're telling.
It was just, it worked. It just blew my mind that this app broke down and all they wanted to do was help me out and make sure.
So there was an
they're
initial
getting
problem.
crushed by Uber.
So they call, like the cab driver calls me up and he goes, "Are you going to the Bronx?" And I said, "No, I'm going to the Upper West Side." And he was a block away and then he canceled on me. So then I called up Juno being like, "Hey, your guy just called me, found out where I was going and canceled." And the guy is English and he goes, No, that's not the Juno way. This cannot stand.
Juno way.
And I was like, look, I'm just trying to get home. Like I got to get home really quick.
Where were you?
I was downstairs out here. and there was no cabs around. It was all like a 10-minute wait, so I was just like really stressed
You got
out.
a 10-minute cab. You got a 5-minute train.
Was this related to you watching Big Brother?
It was, and I needed to watch it on my phone in the cab because I was home like 10 minutes into the premiere.
Oh my God!
So the guy on the phone goes, "Look, sir, I need to make this right for you. I can't stand this."
The English guy?
The English guy goes,
do his English voice while you're telling the story. It's better for me.
"I cannot stand what's just happening to you right now, sir. I have to get you in a
Sexy.
I have to get you in a new cab. I have to get you in one as soon as possible. And I'm going to stay on the line with you this whole time."
He got Australian all of a sudden. You stay on the line with you.
It's me, Jim Jeffries. Me mates and I went out.
So the guy goes, "First you got to hang up so I can help you, sir." And I was like, "Okay." And then I pull up my phone and the 10-minute wait just disappears and a cab appears from across the street, picks me up. And then the guy calls me back and goes, "Now, sir, I'm going to stay on the line until we get you in that cab." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get in." So I get in my cab and then he's like, "All right, sir, I am deeply sorry for the experience you've had today. I'm going to make sure that this driver never sees you again and I'm going to follow up with him." And then he's like, "And you know what? Just for the trouble and for just everything you've had to deal with in this moment, I'm going to,
You made a noise just a second ago that I've never heard.
Let's talk about this duck noise that has just been emitted from your bill.
I don't know what that was.
Okay.
I was trying to not laugh. He goes,
Oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, you can.
"You know this ride you took yesterday? I'm just going to scratch that. And I know that time and effort, money doesn't make up for time and effort." And then I get home, and an hour and a half later, there's an email from the same guy that says, "Apologies again, sir, for everything you've been through today. I want you to know Juno does not stand for this."
He's amazing.
I love you, Vito.
I'm only going to be taking Juno.
It was this beautiful email that was like, "And I am reaching out to the driver. You've been unmatched. You will never see him again."
So when you don't like a driver, they can never pick you up again.
Yeah, I guess that's they like have a matching service where like they'll unmatch you from people. Because my thing was I was just annoyed that the guy called me up, canceled on me after I waited for him for 10 minutes.
Now this is crazy. This happened to you just this weekend.
That happened to me on the premiere night, so last Wednesday.
So this weekend, I call a car. I have way too many car service apps, mostly because of Chris, because he's constantly sending me, "Get this deal."
I like deals. I like taking cabs.
Uber, it's Lyft, it's like Juno. But I took a Juno this weekend on my way home, and I landed myself in a straight up party cab.
What?
Like a straight up, like I was in the club, but it was in the cab. Like imagine like the lights that they used to do on Cash Cab. So it's like that, and they were like flashing. And he was playing music. He was blaring music. And he's like, "This is the dance party Juno cab."
Now, are they yellow cabs?
No, this is just like this guy's
It's
like
just like
minivan.
Uber. It's
yeah,
like
it's just
whatever
like
car
Uber.
they have that's
But look
theirs.
at the look
Why
at
do
the
you guys
party.
keep calling them Juno cabs?
That's just the service we're using.
Look at the party.
Yeah, but call it Juno. Don't call it a Juno cab. It's not a cab. I don't say Uber cab. I'm
Okay,
getting
good
in a
point.
car.
All right, in just a Juno.
You guys are driving me nuts.
Juno cab, bro.
I thought Juno was like, you know how they have the arrow now to pay? You treat
right.
a yellow cab just like it's an Uber?
Yeah.
So I thought that's when I said, oh, no, when you're saying cabs, I'm like, oh, they're getting destroyed by Uber. But you know what? We say that, but you ever go out at 5 o'clock at night and you can't get a yellow cab?
Yeah. So they're it's really their fault. And they're difficult.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just not enough cabs in the city.
And then also, a lot of them aren't on doing either like Waze. Like some of them don't do that. So if you're in the outer boroughs, and I usually am, you're having to give them directions, and you're like, I forgot how this was.
I've had to give directions to people, right, from the east side to here. And I'm like, I'm explaining, well, New York is on a grid. So,
yeah,
it's very simple to get to any address.
If you can count,
right?
You can get me to my
I'm telling you 49th and 6th. So you either have to go to an avenue or to a street. You have two ways of doing this. a guy picked me up he was, is it Sikh with the cool thing around their head?
Yeah, the Sikhs have that.
Yeah. So he goes like this, "Sir, you are my second ride of all time." And I'm like, "That's great."
Oh, that's cute.
And he's like, "I drove a cab for 10 years. And I go, "Well, this kind of took the fun out of it." I thought it was all going to be exciting, you know? Like, I was like, some guys will act like that, but I don't want to be hanging with you. But I love some people hate to talk to a cab driver. I always find it fun.
I wondered about this Juno cab driver from.
This is Juno.
Okay, this Juno driver. I wondered if people get annoyed with him because he was just ready to party.
No,
but I could imagine.
I'm ready to party. That's my thing.
I was so down, and he was just like blaring Justin Bieber, and he was just having a great time.
Well, cool that he said the Biebs. I mean, that's good news.
And I mean, we were dancing.
Shorty.
It was just like so
You started
great.
dancing with him right away?
Oh, yeah, immediately.
No.
It's like, this is great. Yeah, I will have a little bottle of water. Thank you, sir.
Magazine? Don't mind if I do. I love the New Yorker. I always say this when I get in the back. I go, mind if I spread my shit out?
Nice.
That's my deal with him. But see, here's the thing when you're talking about partying, I thought maybe he was drinking. Because, and I don't think it's something I should brag about, but I'm going to anyway. I feel like I was one of the great drunk drivers of all time. I mean, I never had a problem where I worried about myself, no matter how bad I was driving.
You thought, you were able to handle it no matter what.
Any accident I ever had was hit and run. I never stayed behind to discuss.
Okay, I see what you mean by this.
And the reason why, I was pretty drunk. But most of my accidents were what you would call a swipe, not head on.
Yes.
Swiping.
You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Did I catch that? Felt that.
Here's one time me and this friend were coming back from the beach. And, I mean, we'd been down there and we had partied it up for a couple of days. So going back, he was driving and I'm sleeping next to him. And I wake up to see him sleeping. And this isn't like a 3 o'clock in the morning. This is like a 6 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I look up, car coming right at us. And I yell, and he pulls, and we scrape sides. Each of us going like 50, 60 miles an hour. And then he says, "Do you fucking believe that?" And stomps on the gas. And he goes, "Are they stopping?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Are they going to chase us?" I go, "I can't even see them anymore." That's how fast we started going. But that ability to sober up.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult man, because I was, like in high school when that happened. That's a head-on crash. In times when we're not, either one of us wearing seatbelts. We're all dead. This would be a ghost show that you're listening to.
Right, but then your reaction time probably served better because of the panic you would have had if you were sober. Like, if you were sober and you were in that circumstance, your muscles would tighten up,
Well,
you'd
here's
be
the
like
thing.
jerking the wheel back and forth.
There's no way two sober adult drivers would be sleeping.
Okay. But if you were,
Yeah.
I think that you were served better by being a little loosened up.
So that's the way that you give. There's always the thing that if you're in a drunk car accident, you're less likely to get hurt.
Right.
That is something spread by drunks. No doctor will say this to you, but other drunks will say we were in a car accident. But luckily, I was so drunk
That I just went with
stiff
it.
up. Yeah.
Walked away.
I'm not even sore today. Muscles were so
But
loose.
I remember the swipe of the two cars.
Ugh. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
What would have happened?
A head-on collision. I mean, actually, I probably need to give so much credit to the other driver who, from this point on, I'm just going to call Swipey. Now, here's why I'm glad now that people live in a world where you can Uber, Juno cab it, Lyft it. There's a lot of people saying no one will own a car in a few years. Like when we have these driverless cars, which We need a better title.
Robocar?
Okay, well, we'll get to the title later.
Right.
Let's just all agree that driverless sounds scary. But there's no reason to own a car now. You'll just get in these things.
Yeah.
There'll just be things floating around. When I might even start calling them small road trains.
Well, eventually they're going to be called cars, and in the past they're going to go, they had driver cars?
Oh,
it'll sound nuts. They'll be saying to each other.
And they're like, driver cars.
When in my grandfather's day, they would get into these cars and start steering them themselves.
A man?
Yes, a human. They will look back on us like we were centaurs. Like we'll just be mythology. And yet, those of us who have driven will never trust the driverless cars. We never will.
No.
If you live to be 100, you're like, oh my God, this is insane.
Like, where we all are now, like, people can say, like, oh, millennials this or founders this. We're really part of one generation that's going to live a certain way, and eventually we're all going to live to be too old to understand what is good about these new ways. Like, we're going to be really freaked out. Like, it's like you're going to live to see it, but you're not going to live to enjoy it. You're just going to be terrified.
First of all, there are some technologies that even when people will believe in, they'll still be terrified of it. I mean, people haven't completely just believed in plane travel. I mean, you're flying through the air, above a city, above clouds, and every once in a while, you're just looking out the window and you're reading, you're looking through, and then you just go like this. What the fuck? How could this even be?
This seems unnatural.
And I don't want to sit next to the guy who brings that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I can't let that get in my head.
Luckily, I just think it. I don't share it.
Smart.
But I do look around the plane and I just think, why are these people okay with this? Like, then I start to be like, so am I the only person who's upset? And then I feel really bad about myself. Like, why is everybody else just look so comfortable? Like, some of them are like reading and sleeping and just like looking normal and not just like looking out the window and just kind of blinking.
Even if the plane is smashing around, 99% of the people just like,
I was on a plane that the engine before takeoff started to emit black smoke, and I had a serious breakdown. Like, I started to hyperventilate, and I'm looking around, and everyone's just going, and then like going back to reading. And I was with my boyfriend.
That the cabin is filling up with black smoke?
Yes, and then people are coughing and like making a face like yuck, and I can see there's black smoke coming out of the engine, and I start to really I'm hyperventilating. I'm with a boyfriend at the time, and I said, I'm getting off the plane. I have to get off. And he was like, I'm not getting off the plane. Plane is taking us home. We're going home. I felt fucking crazy that I was the only person who was upset about it. And then upon landing, he was like, see how silly that was? And I was like, I still think I had the only normal reaction of anyone on this fucking plane.
Are you sure you weren't hallucinating the black smoke?
I hope that I was not.
That is hilarious.
I mean, normally I get auditory hallucinations.
You hear stuff?
I hear things. Which I once told to a doctor, and they're like, what you're describing is schizophrenia. And I was like, oh no, you're just a doctor. You don't understand. Like, this is just that's like a creative thing that I do with my mind. And I was like, my dad told me that it's just like creative thoughts and, and he actually has that too. And then he said, yes, schizophrenia runs in your family then. And I was like, look, I wasn't talking about that. I'm just talking about, when you hear some shit that's not really there.
Hold on, Gail. Yeah, I know. I know she's blowing it. I'll talk her down. Yeah. Don't fucking start on me. I'll kill both of us with a belt around my neck. Yeah, I've seen Fight Club. I know that if I shoot through my mouth, you die.
I also like the idea of telling a doctor, no, my dad has the answers to this. No. He knows what's up.
No, a lot of people in our family died because I let a funeral director into the home.
So this is what we're just getting the after effects of that.
I can't tell you what kind of Irish, Wiccan, fucking blood that you come from that, you know.
I blame the Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah.
Powwow.
Well, one time a person in my family dropped soup and 6 people stabbed him. You have
to spill the blood.
You have to, Chris.
All right.
What do you want to curse on 3 generations?
No way. Get rid of it now. Anyway, that's all about Juno cabs. Good job. Chris, why are you bringing up SpaceX being sabotaged?
So SpaceX had a rocket explode on the pad.
Uh-huh.
Now they're saying they think it's one of their competitors who sabotaged them. Because I guess their competitors...
Were they wacky racers? Was it Dick Dastardly? People don't do that.
I just wanted to go do that dog's laugh, and I was like, I'm going to regret it. If you have it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to regret attempting that.
Hey, Snuffles, how about a dog biscuit?
There's another rocket company called United Launch Alliance.
Can't be called a rocket company.
Yeah, I got the app. If I want to go up in a rocket, I just give them. It's a little more expensive than I'm willing to pay right now. I'm waiting for it to come down.
They have a building directly across from where where SpaceX was launching its missile or its rocket, and Elon Musk thinks, look, these guys could have been sabotaging our shit and trying to make us look bad.
How?
Why assume a saboteur? What is his evidence?
There's video of the launch and said there's a shadow that think maybe something was fired from their headquarters into the rockets, some sort of projectile.
The word you're looking for is bullet.
Possibly a bullet.
And everybody would have heard it. I'm hearing rumors Elon Musk might be out. Not just at that rocket place.
Really?
Also, yeah, at his car company.
Tesla?
Yes, Tesla.
Why? Are people pissed at him? The guy's doing great.
I don't know. You look around, see a lot of Teslas.
This is more like a West Coast thing.
This guy's doing great.
He's sold something like 30 cars.
I don't know why you fear lawyers, because you would be a great one.
Thank you.
Look at this guy. He's doing great.
How can you fucking hate this guy?
He's closer to a rube than a lawyer. You're really struggling to get those headphones around your giant head, Vito?
No, so I get sometimes my glare pops up right here, and I don't like my hair looks stupid, so I use the headphones to put it back like a headband.
That's not what they're there for, son.
I'm not gonna lie, I use mine like earmuffs because it's so cold in here.
Is it cold in here?
Sometimes I turn the sound down.
Chris, do you want to jump into this at all?
What do you use headphones
He's
for?
the only guy that runs a board that doesn't fucking wear headphones.
My head was just very sweaty.
That's why most of the time we don't even know that we're off the air.
A lot of times I'll go like this to Chris. Because I'm not technical about it. I don't really know. I'm just like, seems like a problem in the old cans here.
Just tell him to put on headphones. Here's Sean wants to correct something you said. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Ronnie, Chris is crazy. That United Launch Alliance is actually Boeing. It's a collaboration between Boeing and Lockheed Martin, if I'm not mistaken. So they're not going to be dicking around with
why wouldn't they?
Stuff like
why
that.
wouldn't they? They want any competitors firing rockets in space.
Boeing?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
they've been around forever. You might as well
I
be saying NASA is doing it. It doesn't make sense that they wouldn't want to destroy their company over something that you expect to take place in, let's say, Chinatown's gambling rings. There, somebody will think, hey, there's a new crap game in town. Why don't we try to start a fire there? Then you believe it. But Boeing doesn't go, we're going to climb on the top of the roof and shoot their rocket as it's taking off.
I feel like there's this new space race, and that why wouldn't Boeing want to be the only people there?
here's the
Are they in the space race in that way? Are they? Is Boeing attempting to?
Everybody is looking into the space race. Here's the way to know that something that you're saying isn't true. When you said, I feel that, no smart person ever says, I feel that, as a way of, here's what I believe that happened.
Unless, of course, you're talking about your feelings.
Because, we don't trust our feelings intellectually.
I think.
No, you don't. You already explained it. You feel. You haven't done any research into this whatsoever. It says you have some hero worship on Elon Musk.
What is it about Elon Musk that you are very obsessive?
Well, yeah, I think the guy's very good at what he does, which is build electronic cars.
Electronic cars.
He says, hold on. That's not the part that interests me. Yeah. He goes, the guy's very good at what he does, which is what? Build. It's like there was a what?
There's a Hyperloop.
That was my favorite part.
There's no Hyperloop. Yeah. And that wasn't even his idea. He just said, Hyperloop would be cool.
What is it now? I mean, you tell me. I don't know.
SpaceX.
I'm not coming in every day being like, what do you guys want to talk about, Elon Musk?
And then he's like this. Hello, I'm Elon Musk. I'm in the electronic car business. Or cars, as I call them. Electronic cars. You seem like you're 90.
How are you going to adjust to this new world, Chris?
Suicide.
Are you? The next time that there's a major invention. iPhone 8! Easy, buddy. Tomorrow the new Star Wars comes out.
What? Yeah. Already?
I'm going to kill myself.
It's the East Side Dave Star Wars show. I've seen some behind the scenes stuff.
Nice.
And I expect it to be, brilliant. Do we need to break one more time, or can we take it to the limit like the Eagles?
We can break one more time.
Right back, Bennington.
It's like a 140-character live journal. It's hashtag Bennington. Tweet it.
Welcome back to Bennington. Reminding you guys, Comedy 101, part of this year's New York Comedy Festival. It's happening Tuesday, November 1st, 9 p.m. at the Village Underground in New York City. So you can go to the interrobang.com for tickets. Chris, will you be in attendance?
Yeah, I'll be there, Gail. There's no way I'm not going to Comedy 101. I mean, last time I showed up very sweaty. That was, I want to be, drier.
The amount of sweat at the last Comedy 101, when me and Ron Bennington are on stage under severe heat lamps, and Chris and Vito come up to me and have the audacity to be like, I am exhausted and so hot. And they've been standing in the back the entire time.
That being said.
And at one point, Vito had actually tilted a bottle of water and started to pour it all over his face, as though he had run a marathon.
We cannot do gigs in August anymore.
We're a fall team.
No, there's no doubt about it. We can practice. We can do 2-a-days in August, but we can't be seen in public.
We like sweater weather and light jacket weather.
Love a light jacket.
That was actually a gallon of water.
Wearing one.
You
have a hoodie.
That's not a jacket.
That's not a jacket.
No, that is not a jacket.
At best, it would be a sweatshirt.
He does something very strange where I have noticed that he underdressed through winter, and then when the spring arrived and it started to get warmer, suddenly he was like wearing like leather jackets and
the coats are suddenly on sale.
Is that what it is?
Love a deal.
Or people will just throw their coats in the Goodwill, and Chris is there to catch it.
But
coat drives in this place are great for me.
By the way, you just asked how to do Muttley's laugh.
He just did it.
And he just did it.
You have a Muttley laugh.
It's surprising since I quit smoking.
Did you though?
Yeah.
Seems like you have it.
I swear to God. Do I smell like smoke?
And
no,
you're not
actually,
drinking?
No.
Not drinking.
And you're off drugs?
No drugs. No weed, no nothing.
Friends?
Nope. It's a cleanse.
No sex.
No sex at all. Well, at least no sex with another person.
Right.
Masturbation's fine.
For who?
Myself. Okay. And everyone, really. No one should be ashamed.
Well, don't do it now.
Okay, good.
This is work.
I don't even know if we can be calling it work. Trump hasn't paid any federal taxes in the last 20 years. And Rudy Giuliani called him a genius for it.
Really?
Yeah, he actually said the man's a genius. I was watching Sunday TV. Rudy Giuliani, the hero of 9/11, acts so crazy every day now. You know what I mean? Like
he gets
every
weirder.
day. Like he's no help for Trump at all. At all.
He gets weirder and weirder as this election goes on. Like something's driving him mad.
Yeah,
he is actually going mad.
It's his last chance to work. He needs Trump to get elected for him to be able to be accepted into government again.
Now, how would he feel if we were a nation full of geniuses?
That would be bad.
It would not work out, would it?
Well, somebody went back and pulled out all the speeches that Trump has been saying. And they're using our hard-earned tax dollars when he pays nothing to it. And stuff where he's, talking about the immigrants. They come here, they don't pay taxes, and then use all of our stuff.
Oh, God. Now, will his supporters find a way?
They already have. I watched them on TV. They're like, yeah, he didn't pay taxes because he's smart about stuff. He's real smart that way.
But
that he's smart for us.
But isn't this their exact thing, is that they feel unhappy that their tax dollars are being misused?
No, it doesn't bother them.
Because they did this with the wall. They were like, we love the wall is great. Oh, he doesn't want a wall? Nah, we don't need a wall, that's fine. It's not important.
They don't just go back and go, oh, we are building a wall.
I never stopped loving the wall.
Did you see Trump's greatest thing the other day is when he was making fun of Hillary and acting like she was spazzing. He goes, how is she going to run a country when she can't even walk 15 feet to a car?
Oh, no.
And they're laughing, and then he starts doing this stuff that if we got caught doing in second and third grade when we were acting like,
why didn't he learn from when he mocked that journalist?
People were laughing, and he's the type of guy, Crazy Jen had this, BL has this, if she's getting a laugh, the pants are coming down.
Right.
She's just shaking her ass at people.
Right.
He can't help but try to tag it when a laugh happens.
So he's like, good, more of that thing.
Yeah.
I'm doubling down. 200% on this joke.
The other thing, too, that he said that Hillary, this was so funny. He's like, she's responsible for so many deaths on both sides. Okay? And then he reaffirmed both sides. Us, ISIS, everybody.
Wait.
He didn't say I added the ISIS. But I'm like, why are we worried about the ISIS deaths?
Let's be positive then.
Does that cancel out any friendly fire then?
I don't know what he means. But I'm nervous that he won't win.
And then we could just go back to Dullsville.
We're back to Dullsville.
Same old.
Where if he wins, you've all been on a roller coaster, right?
Yeah. Sure.
But have you been on a roller coaster with no brakes?
No.
That's where the fun kicks in. And that could be every day here in America. Just like, and I'm just going to have my hands up like that to prove my bravery.
He doesn't even care we're living in a Trump nation.
He's got his hands up every day. That's how fun it's going to be.
It sounds scary, though.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary, but it's going to be thrilling. I mean, we work here. We're in Midtown Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be looking out the window and bodies will just be flying out. We'll be like, this is unfucking believable. It's fucking beautiful, man. I'll just have paint on my face like Apocalypse Now.
Just like
fucking love it. Yeah, I'm worried that he's not going to get elected.
Yeah, I mean, it seems sometimes like he's trying not to. And yet the people hold him up.
there's a giant hurricane coming this way.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, thanks, Obama. Great fucking job with the hurricanes. He has a hate that is so deep for both Obama and Hillary that it's hilarious to me. They're terrible people. And he actually said this about her the other day. To tell you the truth, I think she's crazy. I really do. I think she's a crazy person. And then he said, I think she's cheating on Bill. And he goes like this. And why wouldn't she? Am I right, folks? Why wouldn't she? That whole family. So he's attacking them. He's going to come up with sex things, right? He and Rudy, came up with it too. These two have been married 6 times between these 2 old white guys. 6 times.
And then they're going to say...
Bill and Hillary have been married for 42 years.
Yeah, and they do what they do.
Yeah,
they have their arrangements. They do what they like to do.
Yeah.
You think that he's pulling the wool over her eyes? No. She knows what's up.
Not only that, but you can't explain to us anything about Bill Clinton. If you say, I found out Bill Clinton fucked a clam, I'd be like, probably. I'm going to tell you the truth.
I could see it.
I doubt nothing. He's been around since 92. We've heard this shit.
Yeah.
He has had to do some of it. But did you see Obama with the plane waving Clinton in? Dude, all right, so they're in Israel, right? Yeah. Obama's got Air Force One. And Clinton is fucking around outside like a buddy, right? Is it this difficult you just go to the iBank? The iBank.
It's on the iBank.
It's on the iBank. You don't have to do all this typing. And he can't get Bill into the plane. The president is gassed up and ready to split. And I don't know whether Clinton's at a snack machine or he had met somebody. There's got to be video of this, Chris.
I'm bringing that video up.
I want us to get a system where we know what these things are and we're up and ready to go with them. Every day.
On it.
Really? Because I say it all the time. So here is, and give me a lot of volume on this. This is the President of the United States of America in Air Force One, who was done with a funeral. And, let me tell you something about Obama. Like, when he tells his wife, I'll be home for dinner, he's got to be there. She is not an excuses type person. So we're having trouble playing it, Chris. Bill, come on, I'll take you home. He's yelling.
The 11th time here.
Yeah.
He's pacing back and forth.
No one on the planet Earth makes, and then look when Bill comes up. You just give him a hug.
Like what? Come on, dude.
You know me, Daddy. I gotta talk to the ladies. And this is the weirdest thing about Bill Clinton. You would think the people hate him. The Obamas love him, and the Bushes love him. I mean, they're crazy about him.
Yeah, he's charming. He must just charm the shit
that
out of everyone.
Southern shit that he does.
Yeah.
His blueberry pie was really, he just loved. But the Bush family, and they don't like anybody who's not a Bush. They actually inbreed. And that Barbara Bush will go, this is my 3rd son. The one who beat your husband in 92 and made him cry.
She loves him.
Loves him. Loves him more than her own children.
He gets away with everything.
Yeah. And she said to Jeb, at least 2 of my boys were president.
Oh, Jebby.
Poor Jebby, right? Low energy.
Like nothing. Low energy. Very tired.
Very tired guy. Low energy. Don't like him at all. Very low energy guy.
He's dull.
Dull guy. Very, very dull. Too dull, ever. Too dull to be anything. I like to call him Slapdick is my new name for him. Is he going to keep giving out like names if he gets elected? Like he'll be giving out like Trudeau will get a fucking nickname that's shitty, you know?
Yeah, everyone's gonna.
Everybody that he talks about is just going to be a piece of garbage.
He's not going to change.
Now Hillary is. No, it was Lion Ted.
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
And what was Elizabeth Warren?
She was Pocahontas.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a good one, I think. Like, I'd be happy to have that one.
Ted Cruz was Impotent Cruz. This guy never got a hard on once. Am I right? Impotent Cruz. Let's all call him that, right, gang? Impotent.
And then Little Marco Rubio? Or
Little Marco.
Yeah.
Little tiny Marco.
He's just up at 5 a.m, coming up with these nicknames, tweeting them out.
I think it's really funny. Like, he'll get up and like, he'll be like, "Morning Joe," more like "Morning Blow." Like, you don't even have to be big for him to rip you. Harry Potter told this story. So he's a kid and he's doing like the Today Show for the first time. And he's in the green room and he's nervous. And Trump is there to promote his show, The Apprentice. So little Harry Potter says, "I'm just nervous about the show." And Trump, and this is not joking around, he's just the kind of guy, he goes, "Hey son, don't be nervous. Just go out there and tell him that you met Mr. Trump."
Oh my God.
That's fucking great.
That's him. That's the confidence level that he has.
That's enough to work with right there.
Go out and tell everybody you just met Mr. Trump. They'll go crazy.
That's what they want to hear.
Like a little British boy. It's like, that means nothing to me.
Oh, it will. Then you start calling him Scary Harry and Potter the Cotter. Just make some mean nicknames for children. Hey, over here we call him Fatty 2x4. Look at him. Can't get through the kitchen door. All right, we're going to wrap this up, guys. Comedy 101, make sure you pick up your tickets. Just go over to the Interbank for that. I believe it's going to be the show of the autumn. I really do. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I cannot wait. Go to theinterbank.com for tickets. That's Tuesday, November 1st, 9 p.m. at the Village Underground.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow or again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!